Welcome to Synagogues of Pennsylvania, Part 7. In this episode, we take a look at synagogues in Williamsport, Erie, King of Prussia, and a few other places. Our first stop is in Williamsport, the home of the Little League World Series. This first synagogue location is Temple Beth HaShalom. Its affiliation is Reform. The congregation was founded in 1866 and currently has about 46 member families. We can't give you a close-up view as street views are restricted, but the main building at this location was erected in 1904. Shabbat services are held twice a month on Friday evenings. There is also a Sunday school. There is no paid staff, but rather volunteers for all situations. Williamsport is also home to another synagogue. This is Ohev Shalom Congregation. It brands itself as a traditional synagogue. In practically all respects, it is like an Orthodox congregation with an Orthodox ordained rabbi whose name is Joel Kessler. However, it does offer a choice of mixed seating as well as separate seating in the main sanctuary. Services are held only on Friday nights and Saturday mornings for Shabbat, as well as on the holidays. The congregation was formed in 1905. The building shown here was dedicated in 1951. Let's move on to Erie, Pennsylvania, where there are also a couple synagogues. This first one is Temple Anshe Chesed. It is a Reform-affiliated synagogue. It was incorporated in 1862. This building was dedicated in 1930. There have been as many as 250 member families. Services for Shabbat are held on Friday evenings and on Saturday mornings when the occasion arises, such as a bar or bat mitzvah or a holiday. The current rabbi is Emily Ilana Lozben Ostrov. So we move over to the other synagogue building in Erie. This is Congregation Brith Shalom, and its spiritual leader is Rabbi Leonard Lifshin. The Hebrew phrase on the brick wall reads, Ma'atovu ha'alacha Yaakov mishkanosecha Yisrael. How goodly are thy tents, Jacob, the dwelling places of Israel. This is a verse in the Torah that speaks out on respect that the children of Israel have for each other's property. One piece of information identifies the congregation as being founded in 1896. An informal survey taken in 2013 indicates that there were about 485 Jews living in the Erie, Pennsylvania area. At least 9 have died since then. A survey taken 6 years earlier showed that there were about 700 Jews. Of those identifying as Jews, 284 said that they were affiliated with a synagogue and 201 were not. 6 years earlier, between the two congregations in Erie, there were at least 500 affiliated members. At its height, there were at least 2,000 Jews in the area. And there was a kosher butcher, a baker, and a delicatessen. Now, those still interested in keeping some facet of keeping kosher go to Cleveland or Pittsburgh to pick up food. This building is no longer owned by the congregation, but a deal was made to allow them to continue to have services there. And now on to another city. We've moved over to King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and Temple Brit Achim, as the sign shows. It is a Reform synagogue. Eric J. Lazar is its spiritual leader. Shabbat services are held both Friday evenings and Saturday mornings. King of Prussia is part of the western suburban area of Philadelphia. Its congregation began in 1971, and this building was dedicated in 1982. There has been building expansion in the intervening years and recent commitment to building a new wing to the house of the Center for Lifelong Learning. And now we shift over to an area called Merion and Bala Cynwyd. This first place houses both an Orthodox girls' high school as well as the Aish Torah branch of Philadelphia. Aish Torah is an Orthodox Jewish outreach program. Its leader is Rabbi Eli Kopel. Services for Shabbat are held both Friday evenings and Saturday mornings. This restaurant building is also home to Congregation Beit Moshe, in Merion Station, Pennsylvania. It currently meets only on Saturday mornings for Shabbat and has about 40 attendees. There is no official rabbi. Services are led by congregants. This is an overhead shot of the Lower Merion Synagogue, which is also an Orthodox shul. Rabbi Avraham J. Schmidman is the spiritual leader. It is across the street from another synagogue shown here, which we will get to shortly. This congregation started out using homes in 1954. They were able to hold their first services at this location in 1957. Its membership numbers are not listed, but it claims to be the largest Orthodox synagogue in the greater Delaware Valley. Abraham A. Levine is Rabbi Emeritus. And now let's talk about the synagogue on the other side of the street. It is Adath Israel, a conservative-affiliated synagogue. It has two rabbis, Ariella Rosen and Eric Yanoff. Services are held on a daily basis, both morning and evenings. The congregation was founded in 1946. The synagogue moved to this location in the early 1950s. It now boasts a membership roll of over 700 families. Part of this was the result of 100 families joining this congregation after the closing of Suburban Jewish Community Center B'nai Aaron in 2012. More about this shortly. But first, here's another Orthodox synagogue in the Bala Cynwyd area. As the sign indicates, it is Young Israel of the main line. I am not sure the reason for the for rent sign. Rabbi Avraham Steinberg acts as spiritual leader. Let's move over to Gladwynne. And here we can see Beth David Reform Congregation. Its rabbi is Beth Kalish, and Rabbi Emeritus is Henry Cohn. He became the rabbi there in 1964, and in 1993 was elevated to the emeritus position. Shabbat services are held both Friday evenings and Saturday mornings. The congregation was formed in 1943. It moved to this location in 1986, which brings us to the last location on this particular episode. We mentioned about Suburban Jewish Community Center B'nai Aaron closing down a handful of years ago. It was located in Havertown. Unfortunately, an ugly situation developed when the synagogue was forced to close down. To make a long story short, one member had donated $100,000 with the stipulation that if the synagogue ever closed or sold, they would have to return the money so that it could be given to a different charitable organization. This was open to legal interpretation, and a court case was pending. There are plenty more synagogues to view. So, bye for now, and see you real soon.